During my 9 months with the Benedictine Women's Service Corps, I was in Lacey, Washington with the sisters at St. Placid Priory, and my main work was with the 2 sisters who have been in the United States for 8 years from Tanzania. And so I worked with Sister Redempta, who is working on her master's degree in education administration, and with Sister Anna Maria, who just graduated a couple weeks ago with a bachelor's degree in elementary education. One of the highlights of my monastic life, that's kind of funny to say, but of my time with the sisters in the monastery, was Easter. That was a really special holiday for me. I also spent Thanksgiving and Christmas at the monastery, and those were a little harder. I was a little more homesick during those holidays. But for Easter, it's such a church holiday. It's such a tradition in my family that we always attend all of the holy days and all of the kind of things that go along with that, that it felt so natural to be in the monastery for that part of the year. And I was involved in a lot of the different ministries, like in the Schola and reading, and so I felt like I had become part of their family, part of their monastic group, and that I belonged. And that was a really neat feeling to celebrate a holiday with my family in Washington. Well, something about the Tanzanian sisters and about the Tanzanian culture, I think, that is not so clear to us in America is flexibility, and that's something that the other volunteers have talked about as well. But in Tanzania, growing up is not easy. A lot of kids don't make it. A lot of kids don't have parents, 2 parents or even 1 parent to raise them. And so the sisters have had really tough childhoods and really tough, young adult lives and even adult lives. And what they have learned from that, instead of becoming bitter or, hardened to how life is, they have really taken that in and accepted it as what God has given them in life, and seen the gifts that are manifested through the experiences that they've had. And so one of the most important things that I learned while working from Sister Anna Maria, it's funny because we're part of the service corps, and so we go to serve and we go to give of ourselves, but for me it was such an experience of receiving so many gifts and so many lessons. As I sit there and say, well, this is what academic English looks like, that's one small part of the knowledge that we as human beings need. So, to go back to my story, I was working with Sister Anna Maria on a homework assignment like I did every day, and she started telling me a story about coming to America. And she hadn't graduated from high school. She didn't speak any English. She worked in the fields mostly, and sometimes in the medical dispensary, which are very kind of primitive places where they keep pills in jars. So it's not like a hospital or anything. But she wanted to be a nurse, and so she had learned some about midwifery. But that was kind of her life experience in the monastery. So one day, her prioress called her to the office and said, "I want to send you to America." And Sister Anna Maria said, "Me? Why are you sending me? I don't speak any English, I'm not very well educated, I'm not qualified to go to America." And the prioress said, "Well, I've prayed about it, and I think you should go." So Sister Anna Maria went. And her philosophy about all of life, but especially about the big kind of momentous occasions in her life, is when things change, we must adapt. And she said it so simply and so, so straightforwardly, and I have taken that lesson really to heart, that I don't have control. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know if I'll wake up tomorrow morning. I don't know where life is going to take me. But I do know that if I want to live graciously, if I want to live as God has given me this life, I have to adapt to the situation that I'm put into. And I can resist. I can say, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go, I don't want to be here anymore. But following in Sister Anna Maria's footsteps to be flexible, to say yes, to be open. That's the most important thing I've learned this year. I would echo what Daisy and Ashley have said about next year's volunteers, to be flexible and to be open to new things. And the one thing that I would add to that is to be gentle with yourself. To accept that this is new, this is hard, this is a challenge. It's not easy all the time. And my spiritual director always reminds me that feelings are guests, and we must welcome them with hospitality, that they are from God, and that we have to, accept that they are here, and this is how we feel right now. And it's not that we have to sit there and wallow in our emotions, but that we can acknowledge that this is difficult, and that we can reach out and say, I need help, or, I need to cry, or whatever, I need to get away, and that's important. As you jump into this totally different experience from any part of your pre-volunteer year, that it's okay to balance those needs, and that's one of the Benedictine values. So that's something that I would keep in mind.